Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Superman Unlimited issue 1 by Dan Slott. And starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which, as you can see, it's using the emerald kryptonite to stand out in the background, but also play a part in relation to what's happening in the story. To which I give the cover a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, but also what's happening story-wise with the characters, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So as the story begins, we are in Metropolis, of course in the Daily Planet, and we have the introduction of a new worker at the Daily Planet, who we learn is called Imani Edge. It's a somewhat stupid name, but okay, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to introduce a new character, all for that. And of course, we get to see the real Jimmy Olsen on the scene. Of course, Lois Lane. And of course, Clark Kent, Superman, doing what all good things Superman does, which was actually quite enjoyable in the story. So this is just a little bit before the middle of the story. And we get to see practically a planet-sized piece of Krypton heading towards the planet Earth in this. So this was actually quite interesting, as this was happening over Metropolis, and we also learned that it would also be landing around the area of Rio de Janeiro. We of course get to see some members of Superman's Rose Gallery, but I guess this is also trying to bring out a bit of a point that this could actually be close to a near-death experience for Superman that is happening because of this kryptonite-sized planet that's heading towards planet Earth. Though I would have a question though, is it possible that this particular planet that we're seeing here might have actually come from one of the multiverses, maybe even an Elseworld? And let's just put this straight. We get robbed of John Samuel Kent, and we get the return of Brian Michael Bendis John Kent. So yes, we do get to see the OG John Samuel Kent, but it's only in this first part. Once we move into the area of this portal, the one that we're getting back here is not the Peter J. Tomasi Van Jurgens Kent. No. This is the Brian Michael Bendis one. So, instant bait and switch here. So this older John Kent is not John Samuel Kent. We learn of some of the events that happen in Rio de Janeiro, and they basically become their own version of Wakanda, as now the city is running on everything kryptonite. So, yeah. What's next? Are they going to have their own Soul Stone? So consider this a one more day, care of Dan Slott. Dan Slott. And last but not least, after Superman wakes up from being in hospital or being in care, he of course turns gold. I would like to check out some of the upcoming issues in relation to this, just to follow what's happening with the John Kent in this particular story run. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. Seeing that this is a one-shot that's sort of like breaking out of something, did it have any particular references? No, it didn't. Next is the area of time, no indication of time. Next is the locations that make an appearance in the story. We had the Metropolis, the Watchtower, Rio de Janeiro, and of course the Kent Farm, which also made its appearance in the story. The cast of characters consisting of Imari Edge, Clark Kent Superman, Jimmy Olsen, of course. We had Perry White, Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, of course the Rogues Gallery of Superman, as well as his members of the Justice League. We had the OG John Samuel Kent, and returned back as the Brian Michael Bendis John Kent. So in essence, it's the Brian Michael Bendis, Tom Taylor, Nicole Maines, that timeline John Kent return, to which we don't actually know his middle name, and this John Kent that we're going to see in this is not going to be the OG John Samuel Kent. So for the overall rating, I give it a 5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.